Well, hello and welcome to the final study group session for now, anyway. We may schedule some more, so please stay tuned to the original blog that is posted there on the main screen of the webcast. It's the ibm.co/174 big C, big Charlie, 6 little U, little G, right there in the middle of the screen if you're on the webcast. Today's session is both a combined over-the-air distribution session, which we intended to do last week, and I will apologize for any technical difficulties we had last week, and then also combine that with some questions and answers about MQA. We'll just open up the lines here momentarily to allow for any number of questions. Again, this is an open beta, so some of the capabilities may or may not be in the final product, but this is what we're showing in the product today. Some of the plans may change as we move towards making this into a product in 2014. This session is being recorded today, otherwise we'll continue with today's session. So we introduced, over the prior 3 sessions, we introduced IBM Mobile Quality Assurance as a means for our customers to continuously deliver high-quality mobile applications, simply because we know mobile applications are working at an agile pace, and those agile teams need to develop and deliver, including testing, applications very quickly in the very short turnaround times they're faced and pressured by their businesses, as well as internal employee-facing applications, to deliver those applications with both speed and quality, a good balance. And mobile quality assurance helps our customers accomplish that through a number of different features that we've already talked about in the prior sessions. But today's session is really about over-the-air build distribution. So what do we mean by that? Well, let me just start with the value, and then I'll transfer control over to Roy to tell us a little bit more about how all that works. So in the process of testing applications, one of the things that development teams need to do is to ensure that the right build is in the hands of all the people testing. So in the end, this is really a function of how many builds mobile teams are producing. And again, since mobile teams are typically very agile, those builds are probably coming often daily or multiple times weekly as a means to drive towards a quality release or sprint in each of the iterations that our customers are driving towards. So the time impact clearly is anyone that's testing. If you're not using MQA, you have to manually locate and install the latest build. And of course, testing, if you're not working with the latest build, you could be testing older or outdated versions. And once you're doing that, of course, if you find a bug, it may end up to be a duplicate bug of something that's already been fixed, or an outdated bug that's, for an issue that's already been fixed. So the clear value with something like MQA is that you're able to centrally manage these builds, these versions of the applications that you're going to be publishing to your testers, control that availability of your builds to all of the testers, remove specific versions of the application that are not suitable for testing. And the assertion that we make here is that on average, this probably saves anyone that's looking to install that latest build application for testing about 10 minutes per build. So again, it's a function of the number of builds, and during the course of even just a 3-month project with weekly builds, times the number of team members, this kind of time savings really adds up. And of course, if you're starting by testing older versions of your applications and submitting defects on items that may already be fixed, it's just a big waste of time, and oftentimes that could be just a 3 to 5 hour assertion of wasted time that the entire development team is chasing down issues that have already been fixed. So this is clearly a big time saver and money saver for teams that need the productivity of a solution like mobile quality assurance. So with that, that, let me go ahead and transfer control over to Roy and let him tell you a little bit more about how this capability helps our customers save time and money. Roy.
Yeah, and maybe to add one more note with regards to the need of over-the-air bill distribution, we see in the last couple of years a trend where doing testing of mobile applications, especially builds that are becoming more on the release candidate side, development team and development organizations are looking for feedback and inputs, not just from the testing team, but from outside of even the actual development organization, from products, from marketing, from user acceptance, analysts, and basically having the ability to send them a URL and get feedback from them in a very efficient way makes the actual decision making during this time, and it's a crucial time, it's before you're going to submit the app to the App Store, make it very, very powerful. Do you see my screen, Roger?
I do not, but you should have arrows at the top of your webcast that allows you to navigate the slides that are already posted. So if you don't see that, I can certainly, there we go. I think you're moving forward and backward, yes.
Yeah, okay. So
I'm going to go one more back to slide 6, I think is where it starts.
Yeah. So if you remember, MQA has two major parts. Part number one is our SDK. So as a developer, you instrument your mobile applications with our minimal footprint SDK, and that allows us to be part of the application runtime and have much more control on the launching activities and also when the application closes, or exception handling or any other type of closure. And the second part is the actual web services front that communicates with the SDK, with the mobile application, every time there is an event that is crucial to understand what's going on with the applications in terms of quality. Those two components really allow us to control what's going on in terms of who gets the build and how they're going to install it. So in this case, we've created an application and an MQA generated an application key, and this is what the developer would copy and paste into the mobile project, so we can identify that this application is associated with that specific entity on the MQA side. And if I click next, once the developer instruments the build and drag and drop it into the MQA dashboard, at that point MQA scans the manifest file or the plist file to figure out which type of application is it, what's the version, what's the bundle ID, what's the minimum SDK supported, Android or iOS or Windows, and create a build entity within the MQA dashboard. And because MQA is part of the application, we also provide you over-the-air controls to have full visibility and full control to what that build can do at the end of testers or beta testers or whomever you want to get feedback from. So as you can see here, I've uploaded the three builds in that example. You can see all the information that we can generate automatically. And in the bottom part of the screen, you can see the notion of a team. So I can add as many users as I need and define which type of permissions I would like to provide them or user type. So a user, for example, it's a type of user that can install an application. A tester is a type of user that can install the app and report bugs and crash reports, and also log into the dashboard to see those and maybe choose to push a crash or an issue into RPC or create a work item out of it for the development team. And an admin is a type of user that can also upload a build, control the account settings, maybe billing, whatever it takes to run that account. Once I've created my team, and let's say I have 10 testers, another 5 developers, another 20 beta testers, and I have a build that is ready to be installed and used by those users, basically I would upload that build, define which users I would like to get that build, and at that point they will get an email with an over-the-air URL that would simply allow them from their mobile device to accept that invitation and install that build. We don't require any special provisioning to install a profile on your iOS device. It's really as easy as clicking one URL and get that build onto your device. Once the testers install the application, the MQA SDK registers that new device within the MQA servers, and you can see that we basically automatically grab as much information as we can from the device itself and present it back to the developer or QA manager. So it's the name of the device, which user installed that, what type of version they installed, and as they start using the application, we also, as we showed in last sessions, we also monitored everything about the device, including memory, battery, networking conditions, everything that at the end of the day affects the application functionality. So I'm the QA manager. I distributed the builds. I started to get feedback. Everything is great, but now I have a new build. And I really don't care about the previous one because we've made some significant low-level change, or we fixed a bunch of crashes. So I don't want my testers or beta testers or even my CEO spending time on the previous build. So because, again, MQA is part of the application itself, upon launch, it asks the MQA servers, am I a valid version? Am I a version that you still allow me to run and capture feedback? And this is the control when I can tell that particular build that no, you're not a valid version, please upgrade. So through those play and pause and disable controls, I can really have the needed tools to make sure that my testers are using only the version that I really care about. So let's say I have an offshore team somewhere, 50 people working with a certain version, and I can at any point in time, even without sending them a note about it, because everything is within the application experience, simply ask all of them to upgrade seamlessly over the air to the latest version. And if I would disable a build, that would cause that particular build or version not to run anymore. So again, it's not just getting the rich information from the device itself back to the developer or the QA manager, it's also ensuring that that data is always interesting to those types of users.
I think that's a really important point there, Roy, and you can see on the screenshot here, the disable, where you're able to disable those older builds for, those teams, so you can ensure they are working with more of the latest versions of the builds that you want to target for their testing or feedback.
Yep.
So, I think we can provide a demonstration, but what I'd like to do now is really open up the lines. We've had, including this session, 4 study group sessions at this point, and some of you probably have some wonderful questions about this technology, because I know we've been working together on a couple of things recently.
Yeah, this is Bob.
Hey, Bob, how are you doing?
Yeah, from an overall perspective, I think the MQA provides, outstanding capability to the mobile application developers, and as you know, we've been interested in hosting this ourselves within the DST to be able to provide this capability to others. So, I'm looking forward to the additional capability that I know is being developed right now as well to support the work light environment. But, I found this information that you shared very valuable in understanding the product and how to integrate it into the native applications. So.
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate
Roger.
that. And, and I was going to say, just a quick note on Bob's comment, the one sample app that I did produce for Android actually is a work-light application. And if anyone is interested in that, the link was posted in some earlier slides, but if you're interested in that, this would be only an internal app. I can just same time me, and I'll give you the link on same time to the APK download for Android. And that's someone else had a comment, please.
Oh, yeah, Roger, this is Jeff Miller. How's it going?
Hey, good, Jeff. Thanks for joining.
Good. Yeah, thanks. This looks really, this looks really terrific. Just adds to the portfolio. Excuse me. My question is about how this does or will integrate with, Mobile Test Workbench for Worklight, and to give us the end-to-end right from within Worklight all the way out to the testers with the.
Yeah, that's a good question. You want me to take that?
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, we can't really talk too much about futures at this point, simply because this may be, customers may be in attendance on this call. But the demonstration image that I utilized to actually create the sample application that I just mentioned actually is the same application that is used in the Rational Test Workbench demonstration scenario.
Oh, okay.
So once again, I'll throw it out there. Ping me on same time, and there's a blog that has the Rational Test Workbench demonstration image and the updated APK file that it has the instrumented application for this. But clearly, the technologies are not overlapping; they're complementary. So it's a capability that once instrumented, then you would test it just like you would test any other application with Rational Test Workbench.
Thanks.
No, thank you, Jeff.
Hello. Hi, Roger. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Jer. How you doing?
Hi, Jer. This is Jer. I just wanted to add a comment to that previous question regarding to the integration. We do plan to have future discussions with the strategic discussion roadmap after we get a group of customers assigned NDA. So if there are any customers on the line interested in these discussions regarding to the current what you see, and also the information that not exposed in this call, but we would like to get validation from the customer and some internal users, feel free to reach out to me, and I will put you on the list when we're ready, and I will get you invited. So my name is Jer Leonard. I'm the last person on the web session list. You can reach out to me, and I will put my external email address there, so the external customers can reach out to me as well.
Thank you, Jer. Have you scheduled any of the CCF calls yet? Because if you have, I'd be happy to take this entire list of attendees, and by normal process, I would send out a survey link. But I think the natural next step would be to attend some of the CCF calls that you're leading.
Yeah, that's true. Especially, I think we're really looking for users for the CCF call because there's going to be a lot of feedback discussions, usage discussion based on your real hands-on experience. Definitely, that would be a great idea. We do have another call where we don't have exact time yet. It's going to be the first week or second week of December. It's going to be the follow-up for the first call we had last week. So we have basically two different scope. One is we're going to have these open discussions with non-confidential information at overview level, at general usage level. And then at one point, we're going to have a group of customers, internal users, under the NDA, have some more in-depth discussion, including some confidential information, some future roadmap, additional features we're putting in for 2014. We're going to get early feedback. So two different levels. We're going to start with the first one. Once you attended, reach out to me. Once you attended, you're interested, we can work on to get you signed NDA. And for the internal users, you don't need anything. You're welcome to join and give us your feedback.
Hey, thanks. Really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And again, we'll get that information out to you all so that we have some continuity. But I do ask that the secret of early release open beta software is adoption. And for those of you who are IBMers on this call, do socialize this. Use your social media connections, use your current existing customer contacts, and let them know about this capability so that we can get their feedback through JERS Group and get that streamlined into the product for any future consideration. Okay. All right. Let's see. Thank you for putting your email address in there, Jer. And Ferdinando, you said, do we have any further material or presentations? We do, of course, have the entire study group. I'm going to paste that link in here. All of the slides and recordings are available there. They're also available to IBMers on the Software Sellers Workplace as their original file content, including some recording replays. And for our business partners, it's available on Partner World as well. Your follow-on question is the tutorial enough? So I think it largely depends on your experience. I think developers tend to be very successful at this. If you're a tester with some development experience, this is also important. At least from an instrumentation phase, from a usability stage, this is a pretty easy product to use. So, in fact, I put it in the hands of high schoolers yesterday during a business symposium with some high school students, and using the product is very easy. So instrumentation does require some development experience. That's what starts this whole process, and that's really a matter of embedding the right kinds of calls into your source code, and I felt the tutorial was enough for that, and have shared those experiences in one of the earlier study groups on instrumenting your application. So, other questions, please? This is just an open dialogue, an open format. While we're waiting, perhaps, for other questions, Roy, did you just want to show any kind of live experience with the build distribution? If you're able to get it up on your screen.
I'm getting some sort of error, like I'm trying to share my screen.
Yeah, no worries. I know we've had a little bit of hiccup with the webcast technology over the last couple of weeks, so our apologies for that. Okay, so with that, if you want to be patient and hang on for any other demonstration, I'll wait for Roy to give me the signal that it's a go or no-go here. But this is a great opportunity for you all to interact with Roy and our team of subject matter experts to help you get your questions answered about MQA. Going once, twice. Okay, well, thank you all for joining. Please do see the links on the webcast on the right-hand side of the screen, not only this entire series, but also Jure's mobile community and the national user group. So it's a great opportunity to interact with our users there as well. And thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.